was that prediction based on the government at the time, or was it sort of a prediction on what National said they were going to do?
No, based upon the government of the time.
So it's based on what they're
So
currently spending.
it was based so the forecast in September of last year was based upon the settings of the previous Labour government, and that's actually what's come to pass. Instead, the new national government came in and said it was going to make things better, but actually things are pretty much as forecast way back in September. Now, one thing I would say is this: is that these are all backwards-looking issues, right? We're all looking back and saying what happens. The key challenge is actually what's in front of us. What can we do? And we have lots of choices about what we can do. We've got huge infrastructure investment opportunities in front of us that we could choose to make, and we have the debt ceiling to deliver them. We could choose to tackle child poverty and to put food in schools, and we could choose to, take away the tax credits that we're giving for tobacco. We could choose to actually make investments in the country so that we're all better off, so we don't have a health service that's going to be forced to save 7% of its budget just this year so that it can balance its books. We could do all of those things, and those things are in the future, right? Instead, we look likely, and the Minister of Finance committed to this in the speech today, to cut every year from this point forward so that they can deliver on their targets. So what we've seen to date is just a foretaste of what's to come over the next few years. But the good thing is, other choices are possible. This thing isn't inevitable. It's not like coastal erosion. It's not just gonna happen. We can choose to do things differently, right? And I say this most times I come on here, so forgive me, Pat. We have 720 days, roughly speaking, until the next election. We've got to spend every single day telling the public that not only there is a better future, that actually it's possible and preferable.
Thanks for coming on. That last bit of that question that Emily just asked, what I'm actually hearing you saying is this government has done nothing to impact where we're going, better or worse. So all the people that thought that this government was going to come along and change everything, you didn't get that. And the whole bloviating about we're going to do it so much better, the economy is doing exactly what was predicted to do. So they've literally made zero impact, other than to people's, like big picture, they've made zero impact. Down on the base level, lots of people are hurting more because of the austerity they're going through. But you're saying they could have made other choices and still been in the same place as well.
Well, if we look at the US, for example, inflation in the US is 2.2%. It's putting on record numbers of jobs. Its economy is growing at a real clip. It's got challenges, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of places that really struggle, right? But it's doing so much better than New Zealand. And the reason it's doing that, the Inflation Reduction Act, which invested trillions of dollars in new US infrastructure, a government that's being active in supporting labor markets. This is the US, not New Zealand, the home of hyper-capitalism, and it's doing so much better because it's doing the things actually we're taking away. And that's the real lesson for us, is actually, if we didn't take those things away, our recession is going to be more protracted and more difficult to get out of than it needs to be, and will be in those countries that do the things like the US, like the UK is starting to do, that we're actually going to see better outcomes there. But those choices are still in front of us. We could still choose to do that. We've just got to choose to do something different.